morning, everyone. I'm Donna Bush with your CIGTV News Update. The latest update now on the Holiday Nice program, which shows 518 unemployed persons registered for the National Community Enhancement Winter Project that started back on November 26th. Of that number, 343 have started working on the initiative, which provides up to 3 weeks of work and ends next Friday. Now, according to NICE project manager Levi Allen from the Public Works Department, the figures are significantly less than enrolled on either of the last two winter initiatives. The current attendance rates will see a projected 502 persons participating by the end of the project. Minister of Commerce, Planning and Infrastructure, the Honorable Joseph Hugh, attended the orientation and registration where they continue to add new elements. Registration organizers included a presentation on conflict resolution by a Royal Cayman Islands Police Service trainer. NICE workers are improving the environment in local community areas in the run-up to the Christmas period, as well as clearing beach accesses and doing maintenance and repairs. Beautification duties include clearing litter, cutting back overgrowth, cleaning up cemeteries, repainting road markings, tidying road verges, and working at the Georgetown landfill. Well, just days after the national airline Cayman Airways' newest aircraft arrives on Grand Cayman, it makes its first flight to our sister island of Cayman Brac. On Wednesday afternoon, dozens of excited passengers enjoyed the smooth takeoff and even smoother landings of the MAX 8's inaugural flight from Grand Cayman to the Brac. The historic flight was greeted by staff at the Charles Colonel Airport and residents of the island. In other news, Attorney General the Honorable Samuel Bulgin says government is taking a further look at the existing provisions of the entire gambling law and proposed changes to these. Mr. Bulgin explains that the Gambling Amendments Bill 2018 sought to steeply increase penalties to make them more of a deterrent. As provisions of the law have remained unchanged for 54 years, the current penalties are woefully inadequate and fail to reflect the present ramifications of illegal gambling. Now, the Attorney General emphasizes that the gambling law and its current provisions against illegal gambling remain in full effect in the Cayman Islands. He adds that the public will be updated once the review has been concluded. Meantime, the Law Reform Commission has submitted for review a discussion paper entitled The Enforcement of Mortgage-Type Security Over Real Estate. Is reform of the law necessary? Now, this request followed a heightened level of public comment and concern regarding the number of such procedures, informally referred to as foreclosures, in the recent past. The dominant theme of the public commentary has been the level of hardship it is claimed that has been experienced by owners of residential properties who've been affected by these procedures. Now, stakeholders and members of the general public are invited to generally comment on the issues identified in the discussion paper and in particular to submit their views on the questions and reform options presented for discussion. The paper may be viewed online at gov.ky, or a copy can be collected from the Office of the Commission. Submissions should be forwarded no later than next year, April the 30th, to the Director of the Law Reform Commission, 4th floor of the Government Admin Building, or to the Portfolio of Legal Affairs. Or you can even send it in electronically to Jose, that's Jose.Griffith at gov.ky, or in writing by post or hand-delivered. And that ends today's news update. If you missed it, you can catch it on the Cayman Islands Government Facebook page as well as the CIG Television YouTube channel. I'm Donna Bush, as always, thanking you for joining us, wishing you a wonderful and, of course, a very safe night, and inviting you back here again tomorrow. But until then, have a great one, and bye-bye for now. Did you know that planning permission is required for a shed? Did you know you should check with the department as a planning and permit application may be required?
Boating, fishing, and water sports in the Cayman Islands are great, but keep a cool head. Here are 7 tips for fun and safe sea outings. Number 1. Use a checklist to plan your outing. Check the weather forecast, make a float plan, and share it with someone who is remaining on land, stating where you're going, with whom, and when you're expected to return. Visit your nearest marine supply store to get your safety gear. This includes signaling mirrors, whistles, and a flare kit. It's also very important to have onboard flotation devices and life vests for each person. There are different types of vests. Some are for water sport activities such as snorkeling, and others are for going on offshore boating or on fishing trips. Number 2. These items can be lifesavers in case of an accident or bad weather. Number 3. Use a motor kill switch, especially if you're boating alone. In case of a leak or breakdown, always stay with the boat until help arrives. If you capsize, an emergency beacon or locator device can send a distress signal to inform the authorities of your location. Larger flares will indicate distress to a boat, airplane, or search and rescue officials. Number 4. In addition to sunscreen, food, and beverages, it would be smart to have a cell phone. Make sure your marine radio works. Cayman boaters use Channel 16 to communicate. Number 5. Also, don't forget your anchor and sufficient rope. Number 6. Boat operators should be familiar with the local waters and reefs, as well as the capabilities and functions of the vessels they are using. Always obey the rules of the sea and the marine environment, and have courtesy for others. Number 7. Alcohol and salt water do not mix, especially if you're the captain. Some useful contact numbers are 911. The RCIPS Marine Base is 649-7710, and the Port Authority is 949-2055. Smooth sailing, all!
I'm Jody Ann Powery. I'm the Police Media Officer with the RCIPS, and I'm here to give you some crime prevention tips on how to best protect your property. The first thing that we want to discuss is our points of entries. Let's start with the front door, and then we'll move on to the windows and the back doors or sliding glass doors. The first thing to consider is the front door. This particular front door has 2 deadbolt locks. One of these deadbolt locks are properly carpentered and the other is not. When your door is properly locked, you'll hear a click at the end and the deadbolts are not able to move. If it is slightly opened, then you can push the deadbolt back without having any restrictions. I'll now proceed to show you what your lock should look like when it is properly locked. When it comes to your windows, you want to make sure that your window is locked all the way down, because even though the lock is on, if it's not all the way down, it can still be pried. The proper way to lock the window is to make sure that the window goes all the way down to the seal and then you pull across the lock. When you have a sliding glass door at home, you want to make sure that you have secondary locking devices in addition to the lock that comes with the door. One of those can be a simple piece of wood that's jamming the doorway. We want to encourage you to ensure that you don't make things easy for burglars who are looking for opportunities to break into property by leaving your property out in plain view. Some of these items are your car keys, your electronics, and your handbags. Make sure that you put these properties away when you're leaving the house or when you're going to bed. When you're going camping or if you're taking your family on a trip, you want to ensure that your property has some sign of life. This can be done by leaving a light on or putting timers on your lights. And we want to ensure that our family homes are safe. In order to do so, we encourage that people take the proper precautions by starting up neighborhood watches or encouraging family members or persons they trust to check on their properties while they're away.